What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, we are going to talk about the ugly stepchild of tokens in this video, Vouchers, once again, because there's a couple of things that have changed between, I think, the last major video that I did for Vouchers that I just want to get a kind of like a perspective across what the first 6 months of the year will look like. And granted, we are kind of at the end of the first month already with January, so it's really just what we can look at over the next 5 months before we hit Q3. Now, before we even jump into anything, I actually don't think that Rebellion is going to come right at the beginning of Q3, so, you know, there could be a little bit of a delay there, but I'm not going to factor any of that into what we're going to talk about, because right now what I really want to look at is what's going to happen between now and the end of Q1, which is about the next 2 months, and then what we may tend to expect, or at least what will be, or what should be on our radar for Q2 as we navigate through. So before we do any of that, we're looking, let's take a look at where the supply of vouchers is currently. We have, we'll call it 7.7 million vouchers. And we print roughly 40,000 a day, which means over, an average 30-day period, we are going to have 1.2 million vouchers per month. So if we're at 7.7 today, right, we add 1.2 plus 1.2, this would put us at roughly 10,000 vouchers in circulation or to be printed by the end of Q1. And then if we want to just take a quick look at where we would be by the middle of the year, it used to be 14 million, but I think it's slightly lower now because some of the vouchers have been burned either for packs or whatever the case is. Actually, yeah, probably for packs. So 1.2 times 5 months, right, for the remaining Q1 and then Q2 plus the 7.7 puts us at roughly 13.7 million vouchers. Again, that is for the end of Q2. We're at roughly 10.1 for the end of Q1. Again, just putting those figures out there. So what is on the radar for the next couple of months? Well, the reason I'm doing this video now is because we are probably going to get DECB or DEC batteries at some point within the next couple of weeks. If we don't get it with this week's update, I would assume it's going to be within the first couple of updates for February. So that is right around the corner. And the big question is, how many vouchers are going to be burned there versus how much DEC? We really don't know what the mix is going to be like, but we have seen an uptick in voucher prices over the past couple of weeks after this announcement and after the proposal passed. So again, I would assume some people are planning to use vouchers. There was a lot of pushback on the proposal itself because people felt that it made DEC inflationary with the use of vouchers. So I imagine some vouchers are going to be burned there, but the fact is it's a huge question mark, and we still don't know exactly how much, and obviously we'll be covering that as we go along. But what are the sinks? If we look at the upcoming sinks, there's two things that I want to call out that I don't believe were on our radar. Again, the last time I was like looking at the overall kind of perspective for vouchers. Now, the first of which is a roadmap item here, which was the quarterly promo card sale. Okay, so this is something that they're trying to do every quarter. They had the Archimist the Bear, which was actually a little bit different than probably how I'm sure they want to do promo cards in the future, or just because that was tied to pack sales. But when you think of Waka, when you think of Lux Vega, for example, those are that's kind of like the template that I'm going to use for this. So let's say there is another Lux Vega that comes out by the end of March, right? Which would be the end of Q1, and meaning that there would be roughly 10 million vouchers if nothing is burned by that point in time. Well, quick math on that. If you template it after the Lux Vega, it's 500 vouchers times 1,000 copies of some super high value promo card that we'll see if people go for if they do it that way. But that would be roughly 500,000 vouchers. Now they could do it a different way, where if they maybe do like single BCX and require vouchers, that could be a significant voucher sink as well. But I'm just going to assume 500,000 vouchers. So that takes us roughly from 10 million vouchers to what, 9.5 million. The other thing, which is actually not on the roadmap, but Aggie has been hinting towards, is this potential mini edition that might come in towards or sometime in Q2, right? He was giving like an April to June timeframe. So if there is a promotional pack that is working with some kind, or partnering with some kind of movie studio, again, anything that's promo related, I would assume would require vouchers in one way or another. And if we go with the higher end of that, right, let's just say 2 million, or we can even cut it down to like 1.5 million. Well, boom, there goes 2 million vouchers that could be, could find a home and, burned obviously for just those items, a promo card and a mini promo set that would happen at the end of Q1 and then probably early Q2. So there you go. That's 2 million vouchers gone out of the 10 million that we have. Now, what else is happening around this time? Well, Chaos Legion is going to be done. It's either going to be sold out or burned out by the end of March. And if there's anybody that's trying to come in for last minute sales, right? Because I don't think we're going to make it all the way to March 31st. We could, but I think some FOMO might kick in after we hit that last legendary summoner. So if people are trying to come in with larger purchases and want to make sure, whatever the case is, they may burn some vouchers for that. But more importantly, once Chaos Legion is completely sold or burned out, which would be the end of Q1 at the latest, well, people will be looking at Rift Watchers. And if you want a Rift Watchers pack, you got to spend a voucher. And there's still 2 million Rift Watchers packs, over 2 million Rift Watchers packs available. Now, I'm not saying that people are going to go in and dive right into Rift Watcher packs, but that is another potential sink there. The other one is actually not a Splinterlands set, but the Tower Defense game. Now, Tower Defense requires vouchers as well, and I think we are probably less than a couple of weeks, or maybe just a couple of weeks away from a playable beta or demo, which could spur some sales now, but people may wait until the game is actually out and then go and buy some packs. And I believe they're still aiming, at least the last town hall ETA or estimate that we've heard is they want to have a playable demo. They wanted it by the end of January. It looks like we're going to get in February, but they are trying to shoot for a Q2 release, is my understanding. Then again, there's something else that we can look forward to in Q2 that could be a potential voucher sink. Now, the big thing with Tower Defense as well is these packs will be taken off the market. According to the post that was way back in September of last year, so I don't know if things would change, if they'll update the post or whatever, but according to that post, these packs will be taken off the market as of, I believe, the end of June or July. So there isn't a finite date to that. It's not going to be ongoing forever. And so that could create a little FOMO as people want to try and get into it. Again, it depends on how good the game overall is. But where does that leave us? Well, another 1.5 million packs roughly brings us down to, what is it? So we took out 2 million for those first two items, and we took out another 2 million for Rift Watchers if Rift Watchers sells out. So that's down to 6 million. Now we're down to 4.5 million, right? And again, that 4.5 million is with the assumption that a lot of this happens towards the end of Q1 or early Q2. If we want to go to the end of Q2, then we can add roughly another 3.6 million vouchers to that. But that's what I'm trying to get at. This DEC battery thing could really throw a wrench in a lot, because there's not even enough vouchers to burn right now to maximize all of the DECB, right? The way that it currently stands, we'd be well short of that if all vouchers were burned. So I'd be curious to see if we burn anywhere close to 4 million vouchers, 5 million, 6 million, because and that's part of the reason why I'm putting this video out there, is because don't make any decisions with your vouchers until you figure out, or until you realize like all the stuff that you may want to have access to, whether you are printing vouchers yourself or whether you are planning to buy them off the market to take advantage. So again, there's a lot that's happening, and I think the magic number for me is going to see, can we burn about 4 million vouchers whenever DECB comes out. Now, again, that's roughly half of the voucher supply as it currently stands, or probably will be close to half of the voucher supply whenever DECB goes live. But again, that's kind of a benchmark that I'm just keeping an eye on. If it's well below that, and DECB sells out, well, then the good thing is that there's a ton of DEC burn. If it's above that and there's a ton of DECB burn, then, I mean, even better, because vouchers have just become super scarce with way more things coming down the line. And keep in mind, there's also, if we're going to look all the way down into Q2, if they're planning a promo card for the end of Q1, I would assume they're planning a promo card for the end of Q2 as well. Now, that might change if they do this promo set, But again, I'm just keeping all items on the table as potential things that would be voucher syncs. The other area in which we may see some voucher syncs that would also be coming in Q2 would be guild alliances. And I guess we can also throw, and I'm talking about ongoing syncs, right? We can also include any tower defense game or a tower defense game that has any voucher burning mechanism in it, as has been teased. But again, we don't have any details on that, and we don't have any details on the guild alliances either. But those could become regular voucher syncs as well if there's opportunities to take advantage or maximize your land or do something with it. So again, there's a lot happening. And I think this DECB, whether it burns a ton of DEC or it burns a ton of vouchers or burns a ton of both, I think it's going to shift the dynamic of the ecosystem overall in a good way, I believe. I mean, it's just going to make things way more scarce, and it's going to force people, it's not going to force, but people who buy DECB are showing their intention for the long term, to invest in the long term, taking that 20% gain roughly and essentially committing to apply it to a future feature that will come into play. So that's all I wanted to leave you guys with in this video. Again, I was just thinking about it as I was looking through the vouchers and looking at some of the things that hadn't been discussed when I made a voucher video roughly a month ago. And so, there's a lot happening. It's exciting times. I think the first, half of this year is going to be not necessarily fireworks from a token standpoint, but there's just cool, interesting things happening around the game. It feels like every week, right? We're getting small little releases here and there, which is what this whole agile approach is. And as we continue to build bigger and bigger into major releases or major sellouts or burnouts, right? Like, we'll just call it the end of an era, right? Once Chaos Legion is no longer available, I mean, it's going to be interesting times. And then once we get potentially tower defense in the mix as well, that could be something too. So there's a lot happening within the ecosystem. I'm super excited about it. If you can't tell how optimistic or bullish I've been as of late, but overall, the next thing is DECB. I hope it goes well. I hope there's a good appetite for it. I'll probably be buying some. And yeah, that's all I got. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What are you planning to do with your vouchers, or how are you thinking about this over the next couple of months? Again, I get a decent amount through my nodes and through staking SPS. I do sell some every day, but I am curious to see what some of these potential syncs in the future could be if I want to take advantage. So I'm curious if you guys have done that as well. So that is all I have. Have an amazing rest of your day. Catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.